Stop eating these 6 veggies. They're not as healthy as you think. What if I told you that some of the healthy vegetables sitting in your kitchen right now might actually be working against your health instead of supporting it? Surprising, right? But it's true. A few common veggies that are often praised as nutritional powerhouses may, in reality, be quietly disrupting your gut, slowing your metabolism, and fueling chronic inflammation. And the worst part? You might not even realize it because you've been told your whole life to eat more of them. These veggies aren't inherently evil, but they contain compounds that can be hard for the body to break down, absorb, or detoxify. Over time, these sneaky substances can lead to bloating, fatigue, stubborn weight gain, and digestive issues that just won't go away, despite your best efforts to eat clean. It's frustrating, isn't it? Now don't worry, we're not here to throw all vegetables under the bus, but some of them do deserve a closer look, especially if you've been dealing with unexplained health symptoms. In this video, we're exposing the 6 veggies that might be behind your discomfort, fatigue, or inflammation. We'll explain exactly what makes them problematic, who should avoid them, and what better options you can enjoy instead. So if you're ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about healthy eating, and maybe even feel better than you have in years, let's get into it. Number 1, corn. Let's shine a light on corn, the golden buttery favorite that sneaks into everything from summer BBQs to your healthy salad bowl. While it may look like a vegetable, corn is technically a grain, and a heavily modified one at that. In fact, around 90% of the corn produced in the US is genetically engineered, often treated with glyphosate, a chemical herbicide that's been linked to potential hormonal disruption and gut microbiome imbalance, according to research published in Environmental Sciences Europe. So every time you crunch into corn, you might also be consuming trace chemicals your body never signed up for. But the issue doesn't stop with genetics. Corn is packed with cellulose, a type of fiber that human digestive enzymes can't break down. If you've ever noticed corn kernels reappearing in your stool, that's your digestive system essentially throwing in the towel. For people with sensitive guts or IBS, all that insoluble fiber can aggravate the intestinal lining, leading to discomfort, bloating, and irritation. And while fiber is generally beneficial, the kind from corn often does more harm than good in large quantities. Now let's talk blood sugar. Corn has a moderate to high glycemic index, hovering between 52 and 60. That means it can cause a spike in your blood sugar, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling drained, foggy, or even hangry. And don't even get us started on corn oil. This stuff is loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, and without enough omega-3s to balance it out, that can lead to inflammation, a major trigger for everything from joint pain to heart disease and even certain cancers, as pointed out in the Journal of Nutrition. Does this mean you need to swear off corn forever? Not necessarily, but it does mean you should eat it with awareness. Stick to small portions, think 1-2 cup or less a few times a week, and choose organic, non-GMO options whenever you can. And next time you're tempted by a tub of movie theater popcorn dripping in artificial butter, just remember, corn in its processed form isn't a fun snack. It's a sneaky health saboteur. Number 2, soybean. Let's talk soybeans, the celebrated go-to of vegetarians, the protein-packed favorite of plant-based diets, and quite possibly the undercover meddler in your hormone health. Sounds over the top? Maybe. But the story gets more interesting the deeper you go. On the surface, soybeans look like a dream food. They're rich in plant-based protein, full of fiber, and brimming with important minerals. But under that health halo lurks something more complex. Soy is packed with phytoestrogens, natural compounds that behave like estrogen in your body. The main culprits are isoflavones like genistein and didzine, which can latch onto estrogen receptors and potentially disrupt your hormonal balance. Now, chomping on a little edamame here and there won't send your hormones into chaos. But research, like studies from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology Metabolism, has shown that regularly consuming large amounts of soy may lead to reproductive issues in both sexes. We're talking reduced testosterone levels, irregular menstrual cycles, and in some cases, fertility struggles. On top of that, soy has been shown to interfere with thyroid function, especially in people with low iodine levels. And here's another twist. About 94% of the soy grown in the US is genetically modified. That means most soy products come from crops that have been altered in a lab and likely sprayed with glyphosate, a chemical that, as you might remember, has been linked to gut inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and even liver stress when consumed over time. The real kicker? Soy sneaks into all kinds of processed foods under names like soy protein isolate, soy lecithin, and hydrogenated soy oil. So even if you don't think you're eating much soy, it might be showing up more than you realize, in snacks, energy bars, dressings, and more. If you enjoy soy, here's the safe zone. Stick with whole, organic, and preferably fermented soy like tempeh or miso. These versions are easier to digest and contain fewer anti-nutrients like phytic acid. Limit your intake to 2 or 3 servings a week to stay on the safe side. Think of soy like that enthusiastic coworker who's helpful in moderation, but when they start popping into every meeting, email thread, and group chat, it's time to gently set some boundaries. Number 3. Potatoes. Let's be honest, potatoes are the ultimate comfort food. From creamy mashed potatoes to crispy fries and oven-roasted wedges, they've charmed their way into kitchens and hearts all over the world. But here's the truth bomb. These innocent-looking tubers can be one of the biggest blood sugar troublemakers on your plate. Yep, that soft, fluffy baked potato might be doing more damage than you think. At their core, potatoes are packed with starch, basically long chains of glucose just waiting to flood your bloodstream. When you eat them, especially white potatoes, your body breaks down those starches at lightning speed, converting them into sugar. And get this, the glycemic index, GI, of a baked white potato ranges from 85 to 111. That's higher than regular table sugar. So yes, that plain spud can send your blood sugar soaring even faster than a candy bar. Why does that matter? Because repeated blood sugar spikes are like mini stress tests for your metabolism. They push your pancreas to pump out more insulin, eventually leading to insulin resistance, unwanted weight gain, and a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, something that research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition clearly backs up. Potatoes don't have much fiber either, unless you eat the skin. So there's not much slowing that sugar surge down. But that's not the end of the potato problem. These tubers also contain natural compounds called glycoalkaloids, particularly solanine, which help protect the plant from insects and predators. Sounds like smart plant biology, right? Well, in humans, too much solanine can cause stomach irritation, headaches, or even nervous system symptoms, especially if you eat green or sprouting potatoes. Studies in food and chemical toxicology have shown that high levels of glycoalkaloids are not something to mess with. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting you banish potatoes from your life forever. Just think of them like that overly enthusiastic dinner guest who's fun in small doses but overwhelming if they take over the night. If you're concerned about blood sugar or weight control, consider healthier swaps. Sweet potatoes, in moderation, offer more fiber and nutrients. Cauliflower mash? Even better. Low carb, fiber-rich, and gentle on your glucose levels. Want to keep enjoying potatoes without the roller coaster? Stick to 1-2 cup, about 100 grams, a couple of times per week. Steam or boil them, and always keep the skin on to help buffer the sugar impact. And as for fries, try to make them an occasional indulgence, not a weekly ritual. Because when it comes to blood sugar, potatoes may not be as harmless as their home-style image suggests. Number 4. Eggplant. Let's take a moment to unpack the story of eggplant, the glossy, deep purple vegetable that often steals the spotlight in Mediterranean kitchens. Whether it's layered into a rich moussaka or whipped into a smoky baba ganoush, eggplant brings flair and flavor. But beneath its culinary charm lies a darker side that many people don't know about. You see, eggplant is part of the nightshade family, along with tomatoes, bell peppers, and potatoes. These plants contain naturally occurring compounds called alkaloids, particularly solanine and niacin. While these substances serve as a defense mechanism for the plant, they can spell trouble for some people. Solanine, for example, has been linked to inflammation and digestive discomfort. In sensitive individuals, especially those with autoimmune issues or arthritis, this compound may cause symptoms to flare up. According to insights shared in Arthritis Today, some people with chronic joint pain have reported increased discomfort after eating nightshades like eggplant. Why? Solanine may interfere with gut integrity, possibly contributing to what's known as leaky gut. And the issues don't stop there. Eggplant also contains oxalates, compounds that can increase the risk of kidney stones, particularly in people who are genetically predisposed. The National Kidney Foundation advises that individuals with a history of calcium oxalate stones steer clear of foods high in oxalates, and unfortunately, eggplant makes the list. Then there's niacin, a pigment found in the purple skin of the eggplant. It acts as an antioxidant, which sounds like a good thing, and in some ways it is. However, niacin also binds to iron, which means it can reduce your body's ability to absorb this critical mineral. So if you're already dealing with low iron levels or anemia, having too much eggplant in your diet might make it harder to restore your iron stores. So what does this all mean for your plate? If you're generally healthy, enjoying 1 to 2 small servings of cooked eggplant per week, around half a cup, is likely just fine. But if you're dealing with arthritis, IBS, kidney problems, or iron deficiency, you might want to rethink how often you include it. Consider rotating in other veggies like zucchini, carrots, or squash for a gentler, more anti-inflammatory option. Eggplant might look elegant and sophisticated with its royal hue, but like many glamorous things, it can come with baggage. A little now and then won't hurt most people, but knowing your own body makes all the difference. Because behind that velvet exterior, this purple veggie has a few sharp edges. Number 5. Peas. Peas. Those bright little green spheres that have made their way from childhood dinner plates to modern-day superfood lists. They might look innocent, maybe even adorable, but don't let their tiny size fool you. These so-called health heroes could be stirring up trouble in your gut and throwing off your blood sugar more than you'd expect. Peas belong to the legume family, alongside beans, lentils, and chickpeas. While legumes are often praised for their plant-based protein and fiber content, peas also come packed with something less welcome: anti-nutrients. We're talking about compounds like lectins and phytic acid, natural chemicals that help protect the plant but can cause digestive discomfort in U.S. humans. These anti-nutrients can block the absorption of essential minerals like zinc, magnesium, calcium, and iron. So instead of nourishing you, peas might be robbing your body of what it actually needs. And if you've ever felt bloated, crampy, or gassy after a hearty helping of peas, you're not imagining things. Studies cited in the Nutrients Journal have shown that lectins may bind to the gut lining, increasing inflammation and permeability, especially in people with gut sensitivities like IBS, leaky gut, or Crohn's disease. Your tummy discomfort could be your body waving a green flag of protest. But peas aren't just about digestive drama. They've also got a sweet side, literally. A single cup of peas contains about 21 grams of carbs and roughly 9 grams of sugar. That gives them a relatively high glycemic load for a vegetable, meaning they can raise your blood sugar faster than you'd expect. Not great news if you're dealing with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or energy crashes throughout the day. And let's not forget how they're often prepared. Many frozen or canned peas come loaded with sodium or preservatives, extra baggage your body doesn't need. Then there's the modern twist: pea protein isolates. These are highly processed versions found in plant-based protein powders and snacks. Stripped of fiber and concentrated in protein, they can be tough on digestion and potentially inflammatory for sensitive systems. So how much is safe? If your gut can handle them, limit your intake to about half a cup, roughly 80 grams, 2 or 3 times per week. To make them more digestible, opt for peas that are soaked, sprouted, or gently steamed. These methods help reduce the anti-nutrient load and improve nutrient absorption. In moderation, peas can still be part of a balanced diet. But go overboard, and you might find yourself dealing with more discomfort than nutrition. They may sparkle like green jewels on your plate, but when it comes to your gut, they might be more of a Trojan horse than a treasure. Number 6. Kale. Let's talk about kale, the so-called queen of clean eating. Just saying the name makes you feel like you're one green juice away from enlightenment. It's been hyped in wellness blogs, idolized on Instagram, and tossed into everything from smoothies to salads to chips that taste, well, more like mulch than magic. But here's the truth bomb. Raw kale might be doing more harm than good, especially if you're munching on it daily thinking it's your golden ticket to glowing health. Yes, kale is loaded with nutrients. It's rich in vitamins K and C, loaded with antioxidants, and high in fiber. But like that overly intense friend who thinks leg day is a personality trait, kale, especially in raw form, can be a bit too much. One of the biggest concerns? Goitrogens. Raw kale contains glucosinolates, compounds that can interfere with your thyroid's ability to absorb iodine, a mineral essential for producing hormones that regulate metabolism, mood, and energy. According to nutrition reviews, high consumption of raw cruciferous veggies, like kale, has been linked to thyroid issues, especially in people with low iodine intake or borderline thyroid function. If you've been feeling sluggish, gaining weight for no obvious reason, or constantly cold, your raw kale habit might be quietly sabotaging your thyroid. And there's more. Raw kale also packs oxalates, which bind to calcium and can contribute to kidney stones, especially in people who are genetically prone. So if you've got a family history or past issues with stones, that daily green smoothie might not be your best move. And let's not forget the toll kale can take on your gut. It's tough, fibrous, and honestly kind of hard to digest when raw. For many people, it leads to bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Like your digestive tract just finished a CrossFit session it never signed up for. So how do you keep kale in your life without turning it into a health hazard? Easy. Cook it. Light steaming or sautéing breaks down many of the goitrogens and softens the fiber, making it way easier on your system. If you still want to toss a little raw kale in your smoothie or salad, keep it to about 1 cup and only a few times a week. Pair it with iodine-rich foods like seaweed, fish, or eggs to help balance the thyroid impact. So what's the real takeaway from all this veggie drama? It's not that kale or corn, peas, eggplant, soybeans, or potatoes are the bad guys. They're not villains. But they're also not flawless health saints either. When eaten the wrong way, in the wrong amounts, or by people with the wrong sensitivities, these healthy veggies can do more harm than good. Here's the bottom line. Health isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about how your body processes it. Everyone's system is different. What energizes one person might drain another. That's why it's so important to pay attention. Notice how you feel after eating certain foods. Try eliminating 1 or 2 of these sneaky saboteurs for a couple of weeks. Replace them with gentler options, then slowly reintroduce and observe how your body reacts. You might be amazed. Less bloating, more energy, clearer skin, a calmer gut. When you really start listening to your body, it will tell you exactly what it needs and what it doesn't. If this video gave you a wake-up call, tap that like button, share it with your kale-loving friend, and hit subscribe for more myth-busting, science-backed truth bombs about the foods you thought were your allies. Because real wellness starts with real awareness.